can you just elaborate on what was the basis for these links? How did it start out?
These links started out as the investigations continued in this matter. Initially, we had these 3 people that were arrested for the murder of Armand Swart. And then when we did our initial investigation in what will be termed as cell phone communication investigation, we could see that there was actually a person behind the murder who was high up and who was actually ordering the hit of Armand Swart. And then that person was initially identified as Katiso Molefe, who was then later arrested in this case.
Can I just ask you, insofar as the cell phone records are concerned, what data did you have available to you to make these links, and from which cell phones are we talking about?
We had call data record and then tower locations of all 3 cell phones, actually all 5 cell phones that were recovered during the arrest. That will be the ones that were recovered in Bramley and the one that was recovered in Clipperfield. But the phone that came with a lot of information in as so far as linking Katiso Molefe was the phone of Michael Pulletown, because it was seen on the records of his phone that it was him that was communicating a lot with Katiso Molefe.
Now, can I just ask you, insofar as the data is concerned, you mentioned in paragraph 33 of your statement that there was data analysis. You also refer to section 205 subpoenas. Can you just explain the difference between the two? Because there's a reference to downloaded information and section 205 obtained information.
Yes, Commissioners. In our cell phone investigation, if I can just give a brief of what we do, we would, if we are lucky to have the number of the person that we are investigating, we will ask for the call record of the period that will suit the investigation to see who he was communicating with, maybe in the tower locations, which will be the movement of the phone in relation to the suspect as well. And then the other part will be downloading the data from the actual phone, which will then mean that you take the phone to the expert to download the data for you, and then they give you the raw data from which you will have to analyze and take it from there in as far as doing your linkages.
Okay, and before we go to some of those linkages, you do say that you don't want to go into too much detail. This is at paragraph 33 of your statement, so as not to compromise the integrity of the ongoing investigation. I assume this is on the same basis as earlier on, that the matter is still in court. Am I correct?
That is correct, Commissioners.
And if we can also give context to the information that we are about to look at, this is just insofar as the information that was available to the team in early May 2024. So you're not speaking about information at this point, but as what you had at that time in May 2024.
That's correct, Commissioners.
Okay, can we then start with what is set out in paragraph 33.1 of your statement, where you deal with the links that you could see on the 12th of April, from information on the 12th of April 2024, which would have been 5 days before the murder. And we are, in this regard, Commissioners, referring to the information at WA1 of the statement, which starts at page 42, and we will also project the redacted version, but yours is not redacted. And witness A, if I could, we're going to screen share, if I could ask you to only deal with the version that is on the screen, because that's the redacted version. And the first is that you say on the 12th of April 2024, 5 days before the murder, 1, Tau receives a call from Mr. Katiso Molefe at 11:36. There's a duration of 119 seconds. And 2, he makes a call, this is Tau, makes a call to Molefe at 11:43 of a duration of 14 seconds and arrives at Molefe, this is Tau, arrives at Molefe's home shortly thereafter at 12:36. Now, before you go to what's on the screen, can I just ask you, how did you know that that is Molefe's number if you didn't have his cell phone at the time?
Yes, Commissioner. Before we could start and doing our applications and maybe phone downloads and everything in terms of doing a cell phone communication investigation, we will do our background check, and then which is where we get the information that we will call the intelligent information. So at the background, we already had Katiso Molefe's cell phone number.
So you were able to establish that when we're talking about the data on 12 April 2024, that it was sent and received from a Mr. Katiso Molefe based on the number, not just on the name that is saved as Katiso Molefe on the phone. You actually verified that the number is his number.
Yes, the number suits the number that we had for our intelligent purposes.
Okay, thank you.